A lot of questions this time of year about how to set a tillage tool. What's the depth that we're going after? And in this, I'm going to call it hybrid chisel class that we have behind us. Where do you want to run it? Where do you run the cutters, the shanks, that type of thing? And the first question that you have to answer to know where to set this is, what is your system? Is it a horizontal system or is it a vertical system? So when we talk about vertical tillage, we know about VT harrows and that type of thing, but we would call this the conventional vertical tillage, meaning that you're going to do it in the fall, just like everybody else. You're going to use a disc ripper or chisel plow to get your soil ready, and then you're going to finish it in the spring with a vertical harrow. So that would be conventional vertical tillage, where you're doing fall tillage. Conventional horizontal tillage, you're going to do what you need to do here in the fall, but you're going to make your seed bed with horizontal tillage in the spring. Soil finisher, disc, field cultivator, high-speed disc, that type of thing. And that has a big factor on how we need to run this tool to have success in the spring. When we're talking about conventional horizontal tillage, it comes down to how fast do you want to pull it, more than how deep. How fast do you want to pull it? How much coverage do you want of your corn stalks? Are you going to soybeans, corn on corn, that type of thing? For a lot of people, they'll find that spot where they have the horsepower to pull it at the speed they want, use their front end cutters like we have here to try to get that coverage. And that's okay, because you're going to build your seed bed in the spring with a soil finisher, and we'll look behind that, what that depth is. In a vertical format, if this is your primary tillage that you're doing in conventional vertical, where you're going to chisel or rip in the fall and you're going to harrow in the spring, that's a little different. We have to get what's called full shatter from shank to shank. Now, how I like to set a tool like this for vertical tillage is I'm going to suck these discs up as high as I can to make sure flow still goes through the rig so you're not plugging up. But I don't want these discs doing much work. I want the shanks doing all the work.
Whatever your shank distance is apart, half that distance is going to be the depth you need to reach to get full tillage.
It changes a little bit with moisture and soil type. But as I'm setting this tool, I'm going to suck this cutter up and I'm going to dig behind it to make sure I get full width shatter. And then I'm going to put my cutters back down to get the coverage that I want or don't want in that scenario, make sure it flows through. As we look down this line, what we did is we set this tool for horizontal tillage, so it's set shallower to get the job done the way we want it. And then we set it for vertical tillage, so it's got to be deeper to get that full width shatter. You'll notice on top, not a lot of difference in residue cover. So as I stand here on this side, I'm set for horizontal tillage. On this side, I'm set for vertical tillage. By looking at the surface, you can't tell much different. This tool's done a good job of laying things down level, and the amount of residue on both sides is somewhat equal. So from the road, you would not know this tool is set different for these different passes. So here we're in the setting for horizontal tillage in the spring. We come out here, dig behind it. I'm going to dig down those knife tracks. I'm looking for what kind of shatter or fracture that I have. One of the things that you'll notice right away is we got a pretty humped bottom here. And as we look at how fractured is the hump, this is the original soil surface, and this is a solid berm in between here. We didn't move this soil up in here. That's okay, because I'm going to come back here with a disc or soil finisher. I'm going to shear this off, and I'm going to make me a seed bed. So this could be definitely adequate to get you in a position where you are the tillage you want, the coverage you want, but you got to fix this, and you will with horizontal tillage. It's when you bring a vertical harrow, a true vertical harrow across this, you're going to have trouble in a vertical system. So the planter is going to want out here. It's going to want in here. You're going to get a lot of chatter, a lot of bounce, and you're going to be frustrated with your vertical system. Especially if you're setting up to go to no-till long-term, you're going to have that chatter that will carry on through. So if you're doing your primary tillage in the fall in a conventional vertical system, we've got to shatter this thing in that top 4 to 6 inches of this column. It needs to be busted up and shattered so it'll disperse when we hit it in the spring. So here in the conventional vertical system, we went down an inch, inch and a half more so we could get the shatter so these points don't make it all the way to top. Digging behind the knife shanks here, you see the columns in the middle, but the difference is these columns are fractured. So I've got these columns fractured, and I'm going to be able to come in here in the spring, buff this thing off from the top, because my columns here don't make it all the way to the surface. They're sheared off down below. This will buff down. It'll give me a nice seed bed to plant into. and I won't have to be shearing it off with spring horizontal tillage. So not a lot of difference, inch and a half in depth, but a huge difference in your success if you're trying to put a vertical harrow into this environment next spring.